how sure are we, and how are we sure that the government even has anything to disclose to us?
Well, there have been an awful lot of people who have been studying this phenomena for 70 years. Each decade, the amount of investigation by the research activist community has just grown. Massive amount of evidence has been compiled. Thousands of books have been written, hundreds of thousands of websites. Now we have podcasts, right?
That's true.
Documents, FOIAs. We have a mountain of evidence which confirms a few absolute certain facts. One fact is that there's an ET presence. It's been established, been proven many times over. The second is the government knows about this presence and has embargoed the truth of it, confirmation of it from the people, from American people. That's a fact. There is contact going on between extraterrestrials and human beings in a, I guess you could say, a covert way, one-on-one, essentially. Not necessarily open contact with governments or contact with governments, but with individuals. This is the contact evidence. It's not, it's more complicated and more difficult for some to get, but the evidence, which is in the form of hundreds of thousands of now reported cases, not 10, not 20, hundreds of thousands of reported cases, is now established as fact. So those three things for sure are facts, based on the evidence, not based on what someone believes. So the answer is, go review the evidence. It will take you months, but I'm sure if you were to review it all, you would be as convinced of it as I am.
Okay, now it creates logistical issues. I don't normally like to compare things to, when we're dealing with these things, to science fiction, because I don't want audience people to think that it's discardable. But the comparison is something that obviously people have thought about. So with aliens communicating with our government, does that mean that they're communicating with the Russian government and the Chinese government too? And then is there logistical issues with the fact of our interests not matching up with theirs? I realize it's a big web of a question that I just asked here, but I'm not sure how better to frame it.
First, let me just mention, again, it's not mandatory, but in my world, the appropriate term is extraterrestrial.
Oh, okay.
It's harder to pronounce and harder to spell. There's no question about it.
I think,
but it is the preferred term for a number of reasons.
Pass on. Yeah.
And the other thing is that no, it has not been proven that extraterrestrials are in any kind of formal contact with governments. Mm-hmm. It's been speculated. It's certainly one of those things that people that are trying to get attention love to toss out there. But has it been proven? It is not. Now, again, we got at least one live alien. There we go. We're all trying to adapt, right?
That's right.
And like UFO to UAP, let me tell you, that's brutal, but I'm working on it. We have at least one extraterrestrial live entity from Roswell. Now, that's not formal contact. That's an entity. It's in our custody.
Sure.
And there may have been more.
And they may not be happy that we have it. So therefore,
and that's not that big a deal. So this idea of contact with government, I'm sure people are concerned about it. And if you want to bring it up, you can debate it all day long, and you could talk about theoretically or speculate how it would go. But let me be clear to those that are listening: it hasn't been established. So you don't want to get your underwear in a knot too soon here. Mm-hmm. If it is established at some point, I will not be surprised. But until then, it's an extremely significant exopolitical matter, and we need to be sure before we start digging into that.